They call you a maniac, not because you're weak, not because you're broken, but because you don't fit into the quiet little boxes they built for themselves. The word doesn't come from truth, it comes from fear. Look at their faces when you walk into the room. Watch their eyes flicker. Watch their posture shift. They don't know what you'll say, what you'll do, how far you'll go. And that's what terrifies them. They crave predictability. They worship safety. But you are the crack in their system, the reminder that order is fragile and control is an illusion. They whisper maniac because it's easier than saying the truth out loud. You're free in ways they'll never be. Free from the chains of their expectations. Free from the need to beg for their approval. Free from the lies they tell themselves every single day. So they call you insane, dangerous, unstable, but behind every insult is the sound of trembling, because deep down they know what you really are, the one they can't predict, can't cage, can't tame, and that's why they fear you, not because you're a maniac, but because you make them face the possibility that maybe they're the ones who are trapped. They call you a maniac because you see what they can't. You notice the cracks in their smiles, the hypocrisy in their rules, the cages they've built and then convinced themselves are homes. You see through the scripts they follow so blindly, and nothing unsettles people more than being seen for what they really are. You refuse to play along. That's your crime. You don't clap for their lies. You don't kneel to their fragile systems. You don't pretend to be normal just to make others comfortable. And when you refuse, when you stand there with fire in your eyes and silence in your chest, they panic, because it only takes one person refusing to follow the script to expose how fragile the entire play really is. So they label you maniac, crazy, dangerous. They point and laugh, hoping others will laugh too, because if the crowd joins in, maybe it won't be so obvious that they're the ones afraid. But that word, maniac, it isn't about you, it's about them. It's a confession that you are everything they want to be, but don't have the courage to attempt. They want your fire, but they fear the burn. They want your freedom, but they cling to their chains. They want your voice, but they choke on their silence. So instead, they give you a title, hoping it will reduce you to something small, something dismissible. But here's the irony. Every time they say it, they only prove how much you've shaken their world. They don't fear the word. They fear the truth behind it. Fear, that's what your name tastes like in their mouths. Not respect, not admiration. Fear, because they can't predict you, and what they can't predict, they can't control. And control is the drug they live on. Without it, they unravel. You don't move the way they expect. You don't bend to their patterns. One moment you're silent, watching, unreadable. The next you're fire, uncontained, unstoppable, unapologetic. That's what shakes them. It's not that you're violent or reckless. It's that you could be. That edge between calm and chaos keeps them awake at night. They cling to rules, to order, to labels that tell them who's safe and who's dangerous. But when you walk in, those lines blur. Are you here to help them? To break them? To laugh in their face or to dismantle their world? They don't know. And the not knowing is what terrifies them most. You've become a mirror they can't look into. You reflect everything they're too afraid to acknowledge. Their cowardice, their conformity, their smallness. They hate it. They hate you. but beneath the hate is trembling respect, because even if they never admit it, some part of them wishes they had your courage. That's why the word maniac lingers. It's their shield, a way of saying you're too much, too wild, too dangerous, when what they really mean is you're everything I can't be. And that's why you haunt them. You don't just break their rules. You remind them the rules were never real to begin with. They thought the word would break you. Maniac. They thought it would shame you, shrink you, make you hide in the corners where their whispers couldn't reach. But you didn't run from it. You wore it. You turned it into armor, because being called a maniac isn't an insult. It's a crown. It means you've gone too far for them to understand. It means you've crossed the line they were too afraid to step near. It means you're operating on a frequency they can't tune into. And instead of admitting their fear, they label it madness. Every time they spit the word, it only feeds you. Their doubt fuels your fire. Their laughter sharpens your teeth. Their fear strengthens your steps. A maniac doesn't crumble under pressure. A maniac uses pressure to reshape the world around them. They say you're reckless. No, you're relentless. They say you're unstable. No, you're unshakable. They say you're dangerous. And here, they're right. But not in the way they think. You're not a danger to truth or to progress or to freedom. You're a danger to their illusions, a danger to the cages they built and called comfort. The title they gave you is proof you've already beaten them. If they had control, they wouldn't need labels. If they weren't afraid, they wouldn't need names. But they do. And every time they call you a maniac, they remind you that you've already won. So wear it, own it, make it echo in every room you walk into. Not as shame, but as a warning. Here's the truth they don't want to face. Being a maniac is freedom. They cling to normal, but normal is a cage, predictable, repetitive, safe to the point of suffocation. Normal doesn't create, it copies. Normal doesn't lead, it follows. Normal doesn't break chains, it polishes them. But a maniac tears the script in half. You're not bound by their rules, their deadlines, their little routines designed to keep everyone quiet and controlled. You don't wake up wondering how to fit in. You wake up wondering how to break out. And that terrifies them because they've built their entire lives around comfort, and you've shown up to prove that comfort is just another word for prison. Freedom looks like chaos to people who've never tasted it. Your passion, your fire, your unwillingness to bow. They'll call it madness because they can't measure it. They want you to tone it down, soften your edges, stay in line. But you were never born for lines. You were born for edges, for cliffs, for leaps into the unknown. And here's the thing, no revolution was ever started by someone normal. No empire was ever built by someone who stayed in their place. The world only moves forward because a maniac refused to sit still. So when they call you one, don't flinch, smile. Because what they really mean is you're free and they're not. Look back at history and you'll see a pattern. Every leap forward, every revolution, every invention that changed the world, it came from someone they first called a maniac. The ones who reached higher, built bigger, dreamed wilder. The ones who were mocked, doubted, cast out. The ones who scared the comfortable because they dared to ask, why not? Skyscrapers scraping the clouds, machines flying through the sky, voices that toppled empires, all born from people too insane to accept limits, Do you think they called them visionaries at first? No. They called them reckless, dangerous, unstable. Exactly what they call you now. Because every system, every empire, every throne depends on keeping people small. And nothing threatens the powerful more than someone who refuses to shrink. The maniacs became inventors, leaders, legends. While the sane clung to their rules, the maniacs rewrote them. While the crowd settled for cages, the maniacs built roads to freedom. Their names are carved in history because they dared to be what others feared to become. So when they look at you with trembling voices and call you a maniac, remember, they once said the same of every person who ever mattered. You're not the outcast. You're the blueprint. Here's what they don't understand. A maniac isn't just a person. A maniac is a storm. A maniac is the wildfire that burns through the old forests so something new can grow. You don't arrive politely. You don't ask for permission. You crash through their walls and expose the truth they've been hiding from themselves. They thought you'd be easy to silence. A laugh here, a label there. But words can't chain fire, and every time they try to dismiss you, you come back louder, stronger, hungrier. They throw stones, you build castles out of them. They close doors, you tear the hinges off. And now, they're not laughing anymore. They're watching, nervous, shaken, afraid, because deep down, they know the truth. You're not their villain, you're their reckoning. You're the proof that their systems aren't as strong as they pretended, that their order was nothing but fragile glass. And when you shatter it, they'll finally see what you've known all along. That chaos isn't destruction, it's rebirth. Fear is not your curse, it's your crown. They fear you because you've become untouchable, and the moment fear takes root in their hearts, you've already won. So let them talk, let them whisper, let them point trembling fingers and spit the word like it's poison. Maniac. They don't realize they're giving you exactly what you wanted, proof that you've unsettled them, proof that you've broken the script, proof that you're living in a way they could never dare. Because being a maniac isn't about losing control. It's about refusing to hand control over to anyone else. It's about laughing in the face of their rules, tearing down the walls they swore were unbreakable, and walking a road no one else was brave enough to step on. The future doesn't belong to the careful. It doesn't belong to the quiet. It doesn't belong to the ones who sit down, bow their heads, and play nice. The future belongs to the maniacs, to the ones who push too far, dream too wildly, love too fiercely, burn too brightly, the ones who scare the world into changing. So when they call you dangerous, smile. When they call you unstable, laugh. When they call you insane, nod your head and wear it like a crown. Because deep down, they already know the truth. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not theirs to control. You are the storm. You are the fire. You are the maniac. And that's why they fear you.